Hey Josh, tell me if you can hear me. I'm still testing out some settings. Is everything coming through on audio? Alright, I think my audio is fine. I think. Hey Josh, if you're there, how's the audio sound? Yeah, it looks good. Alright, it's gonna be probably about 10 minutes before I get started. All right, guys. If anybody, it seems like somebody's in the chat. If somebody could tell me if my audio is good, I would greatly appreciate it. Ah. Or I could check it myself, I suppose. See how it's looking. Yeah, sounds like the audio is good. Or I could check it myself, I suppose. See, a little bit of a lag, but no problem there. See if anybody comes in on a Monday night. Not expecting a huge crowd, safe to say. I got an idea. There we go. I don't even know if that's going to come up. Yeah, I guess it does come up a little bit there. Yeah, it shows up a little bit. Is anybody else live streaming? That, boys and girls, is the key question. Let's go to subscriptions. Oh, Roger Wakefield, I think, is... No, he streamed earlier. I think I'm good. We'll just see if anybody hops in, I suppose. I'm very excited tonight because if you'll notice, and I'm hoping that you do, the video quality is a lot better. As a matter of fact, you can see all the damn dog hair on my hoodie. Wow, there's a slight delay in my video. That's funny. I wonder, is the audio synced up? That's the other thing I gotta check while I wait for anyone to come in. Okay. Huh? Audio looks good. It's not delayed. Doesn't seem to be. Do. So it's apparently a bad night for live streaming. Apparently. I had a couple people come in and out while I was preparing to start. I was putting my daughter to bed. And so we were putting my daughter to bed. Our daughter to bed. So if you'll notice, I adjusted some lights in here a bit, and this thing is dying. Oh, that doesn't work. Let's try this other light. Oh, this one's gonna be like crazy bright. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably too much. Can I turn that down? Nope, not really. Okay, well, we'll just have some cinematic effect with the dark side of my face then. Apparently I can't do anything about it. Not much, anyways. So, if you'll notice, the quality of the camera that I'm using for my webcam is a lot better. This is because my wife, my beautiful wife, was very kind enough to purchase me a new camera. Now, it's not just a web camera. It's actually a Canon 80D DSLR camera. And I found out while I was doing research and things after I bought it, well, after she bought it, that probably because of all the COVID and everything, they set up, hey Dano, how's it going, buddy? They set up a, a webcam utility for it. So there's a webcam utility for it, and I got that. This is the beta test, I guess you could say. It's the video comes from the camera. I have to have a separate mic because for the webcam you can't use the onboard audio. So I have my old webcam running the audio right now, and I'm running the camera for my webcam. And I gotta say, I mean, I adjusted the lights by turning like half the garage off, but and I hate this because I look up at my picture and all of a sudden I'm not looking at you anymore, so I guess that's a little more apparent. But the quality of this camera is like night and day. So I really like this, that hopefully this is going to bring a little more quality, at least in the video aspect, to the channel. And yeah, I guess I'll have to step up my game a little bit to match. But you can kind of see even through the webcam, I got like a bit of blurry background. You can still see some of the details like directly behind me. My welder sitting on a cart behind me and everything, and the car over there, that's where you start to see some of the blur. But way in the back you get the blur, and I'm sure if I wanted to really play with it I could get it to blur more. But I'm very excited about this camera. It's big. It's a pretty big camera, so it's gonna be interesting. I actually have it sitting on a can of Bondo right now because I needed the height right for this, and I don't have like a small tripod. I don't have a tripod that's sturdy enough to hold this thing up. It's so heavy. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes in the future for shooting video. I mean, at least the crap content will look crisper, which they say, like, right? They say my webcam was 1080p. This is 1080p. But do you see? I mean, the webcams are always kind of like notoriously a little crap, right? They're always a little grainy. But this, like, the difference is just amazing. Did I see the VCG Walmart collab ad? No, Doug. Is that? Tell me that's on YouTube and not on TV. Is he literally shilling for Heart Tools? Is that what that's about? Please tell me that. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna run over and see what I can find. VCG Walmart ad. See if what? I can't believe Walmart selling Heart Tools. Labor Day, September 5th. It's October. Doug, no. I can't see it. Was it, tell me, give me some reference. Whoa. And this giant camera's in the way of like half my computer. It's on YouTube. I've been getting them popping up on, oh, like it, okay, so it's a legitimate ad. Like it's running on ad space. Okay, then he probably doesn't have it. He's doing ads for Walmart? Are you fucking kidding? I mean, I'm not hating. I'm not hating, but I remember, right? I remember what it was like when Heart Tools first came out and he sniped my video. And I remember how horribly, I don't even know if that first video is up anymore, but I remember how horribly he was talking about it. The entire line, let's just go to YouTube. I want to see. I'm not going to see the ad. I don't get ads, so, screw me, I guess. Maybe I'd have to work so hard to try to see it come up. It wouldn't even be funny. Like, I'd have to get, like, log out and do a whole, oh my god, this dude puts out so many fucking videos. This was like a year ago. If it's even there. What was that? November last year, there's a heart test. Not what I expected. 9 months ago, 10. Yeah, I'll call it like 11 months ago. It's probably around there. If it's even here. 10 months, 11 months. Makita. Lowe's. I'm looking. I want to see if he still has it up. It might actually say 12 months. Either that or it was, I don't think it was a live stream. It was like an internet. 11 months. I'm not seeing it. Huh. Streamed 1 year ago. 1 year ago. I do not. Yeah, no, I don't see it. Like, I gotta be past November now. I don't see it at all. He must have deleted it because the first, where is it? Where's his first Heart Tools video? Leaked. Lowe's. Damn, where the fuck is it? Oh. Yeah, it's... Even I must have skipped it. What the fuck? Yeah, it should be like right here. I already saw one. Okay, well, it's literally not there. Like, he must have took... I don't see anything until like months later. That's interesting. Oh, my wife let the dog out. Yeah, I see 9 months ago his first video. Yeah, and that's it. Like, his first video about actually testing the tools. Oh, wait, yeah, 9 months ago he did a stream with the 1/4 inch, it looks like. But there was stuff before that. Okay, I'm coming back to you guys so I can see my pretty face. Yeah, there was stuff before that. What the fuck is my phone going off for? Who is this? Oh! Well, Doug, now I know why my phone's going off. Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, I think the first one that you got there, where he's looking at him online, that was the first one, and it looks like he took that down. That thing had obviously a shit ton of views, where my video, I think, still to this day is only sitting at like 7K. That's the thing that fucking sucks when you're a small YouTuber. Even if you're doing good on a video or topic, or you get the jump on everybody, even if you do that, the minute that a larger YouTuber puts out something on that topic, you just get shadowed, man. Like, you're off in the darkness, like, immediately. Like, I don't know if it was VCG. I think it might have been like Tools in Action or somebody, and they gave me credit in the end. Not just for finding them, not like they ripped off anything from me, but they did a video, like, I don't know, a few days later or something about them, and they had like 70,000 plus views like within a few hours. It's that kind of stuff's just disheartening. I guess I'll get there in the future. Yeah, I think I saw that SK box that you picked up, Dano. I think while I was I was busy as shit at work today. I didn't have a whole lot of time for anything. Even my breaks were rushed. Um, it was kind of a rough day. Nah, the workload wasn't bad. Just like a bunch of little stuff, bounce from one thing to the next, and then back and forth. But yeah, so looks like Doug's still sending me stuff. Yeah, this is when. Yeah, I don't know how he got the tools really quick. I will say that he must have, I don't know, like bought them online the night that they debuted or something, and overnight shipped them or something. But I remember thinking that he got them real quick, and he was talking. Man, I wish I still had like a backup of that video because he was talking. Well, I mean, still generally speaking, and he hadn't seen the tools, but he was going off on how it was bad for Hart, it was bad for Walmart, it was just like bad all around. So that's funny to see that he's actually doing ads. Are the ads, Doug? Are the ads actually for Hart tools, or are they just like Walmart tools in general? I'm going to be supplying parts for Nick's garage. They are restoring a Charger 500, and I have the black emblem. Oh, that's cool. Oh, it's alright. I was asking about the ad, Doug. If the ad that he's doing for Walmart, is it specifically centered around Hart Tools, or is it just like a Walmart ad? Yeah, he may have made it private too. A lot of the bigger channels don't. Yeah, they're for Hart Tools. Yeah, I kind of figured that. But yeah, that confirms it. Yeah, a lot of the bigger channels, they might not pull the views because not too many people know this, but if you delete the video, it actually deletes the views from like your channel history. Like, so I don't know if that specifically affects watch time, but I'd have to assume that since it takes the views away from like your record, then maybe it actually takes away the watch time. I'm not 100% sure, but I know like when you look at Social Blade, you'll see like bigger creators or creators that are like falling down, falling on hard times or whatever, losing subs, like, or they do something stupid and they have to delete some videos. You'll see like in one day they lost like negative 300,000 views or something, and it's like, how is that even possible? They deleted the video. So that's interesting. If you unlist it or make it private, then it's still there and the views still count. But I think if you delete them, I think it does deduct it off your watch time. Sponsored by Walmart. Hey man, I mean, I'm not hating. I think it's funny. I find it very interesting. But I will say, it seems like once he started getting the tools in his hands and everything, it seemed like he was attempting to give them a fair shake. So, I guess it's not too bad. But no, good for him for getting sponsorship. I mean, but he's like more construction, right? Like Milwaukee, maybe some Ryobi every now and again, but well, okay, I guess you really can't hate because it is still a TTI product at the end of the day. So, I mean, I guess it's still in the same family, but that's just weird because he's more like consumer or construction grade, pro grade tools. To be doing ads for Walmart, that seems like something more like me, a DIYer kind of person, but there's not too many big DIYers. Not that could fill those shoes. I mean, for home projects and stuff, I was impressed with the Hart tools. I mean, they're no worse than anything at Harbor Freight. Like literally, I would buy the Hart tools. They feel better. The plastic, everything seems more firm and solid than the Bauer and the Hercules and stuff that I've looked at. They really feel like fucking toys. Like the Bauer, when I picked it up, it was surprisingly light. It just didn't feel sturdy. I was not impressed. It still had some power. It was still drill. I gave that one away. It's been a while ago, but I gave one away, the drill kit, and I used it a little bit before I gave it away. And I mean, it's not hateful, but I had the Hyper Tough drill too. If you remember, I gave that away at the same time to a different person, and that did about the same. Like, I didn't have really any trouble with that one either. Although that one was small and light, and even though it felt like a toy, reasonably so for the price point and, the size of it, it didn't do that bad either. It kind of surprised me. So, I mean, cheap tools, it's the longevity and the reliability where you're probably going to come into issue. Will it get you through a job or two? Like, almost certainly, for sure. But after that, it's anybody's guess. I did look at, Neil had a video on the new Ryobi, what are they, the brushless HP Plus or whatever they're called. He did a video on those, and I mean, I will say they look a little smaller. The drill for sure. The 1/4-inch impact doesn't look like noticeable. I mean, maybe slightly smaller, but not like by any huge leaps or bounds. I'm sure they probably have at least the same, if not a little more power. So that's good. I'm not rushing out, though, to buy new Ryobi tools. Now, Dano, hold on. Doug said something first. I got to check in on this paragraph and small novel that he wrote. I've been noticing people getting ideas from my Instagram tool post. I'll post a picture of a new tool I got, and then all of a sudden this person makes a video dedicated to these tools I'm purchasing and posting. Yeah, that's no joke, man. I mean, that happens. And I mean, I don't know. I'll take a video idea. I took a video idea from Struggleville. But in the video and in the description, I give him like full credit. I'm like, yo, I totally ripped this off from Struggleville. You can check his video out here. This is me doing it. I'm showing you, yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, I guess as long as you give some credit, link the channel or the original video, I think that's like common courtesy. But yeah, man, people straight up steal ideas. Just like, man, I forget, like, it's been a little while, but I forget who mentioned, like, the Koken stuff first. I probably started seeing ads. I knew who they were already because I worked for a Japanese company for 10 years almost. And so, I knew a lot about Japanese tools because we'd have people come in from Japan to do work, and they'd bring their own little tool bags and stuff, and I'd see some of the stuff that they had with them. That's where I figured out about the Lobtex and stuff like that. But yeah, now Koken, everybody's all about the damn Koken and what is the Nipros? Everybody's it's like I hate the bandwagon stuff. Like when I had the heart stuff, I did the first video. I think I did a live stream. It was a while before I got to follow up with anything because it took Walmart so long to send me out tools. And I don't know, like eventually I think they finally did it like out of pity, probably. Because it took like literally like they were like, oh yeah, we'll send you some stuff, and then I'd email, I'd Instagram, I'd email like, hey, like guys, what's going on? And it took forever, and then finally, I think I emailed like the PR department directly, and I was like, yo, like, and I think they realized I was. And I'm sure they checked, but to verify what I was saying, but like I was like, oh, like, I couldn't make it to New York for the unveiling, that you guys invited me to because of scheduling conflicts, but I still would love to test out some of the tools and give them away to my subscribers, yada, yada, yada. And on that one, after like months, hey, what's going on? MC Engineering in the house. So after months, they finally got back to me, and then they're like, yeah, we'll send you out some tools. So, and that was nice, and I still thank them very much for it. But, and then, once I got the tools, there were some more videos and stuff. So, but I tried not to kill it. And I got in, like, the Maintenance Man's live stream one night, and I was like, remember, I was the first one to find the hard tools, and I didn't beat it to death because everybody else at that time was. It wasn't as bad as the icon stuff, but it was kind of approaching it. People were just making lots of heart videos. Hell, even didn't Brad like he had the chainsaw, I think. Brad had the chainsaw. And even he did a video on it. So that's got to say something. Okay, so let me get back. Dano says he'll shill for no one. And now, hold on. See, now, there's a distinct difference between shilling, right, and being a paid sponsor. Okay, this is where I consider shilling. Okay, and Dano, maybe you can comment on this and let me know what you think. So, if Harbor Freight came to me and was like, oh, we want you to do a sponsored video for our new Bauer or whatever, which they wouldn't because I trashed the manufacturer so bad they pulled all the stuff down off the website. That's true, by the way. I may be small, but apparently I know how to poke some buttons. So anyway, they pulled all that stuff down after my second video on the Bauer tools. But, like, I wouldn't do that because the tools are crap. Now, am I expecting a real, like, sponsorship? No. But, like, if someone like SK or Wright or Williams came to me and said, hey, we got this new, I don't know, what's the Right Grip? I know they just came out with like a better version, but I don't know, Right Grip 3.0, whatever. Say, oh, we got this new thing coming out, we'd like you to do a sponsored video on it. Yeah, you're gonna pay me or give me free tools to do a video? Yeah, like, of course, because at that point, I think most everybody can agree that those are good tools, or, at least chances are they're going to be good tools. Now, I would watch the red tape. Sometimes when you get into sponsor land or you're doing like the specific product sponsorships and things, like, they're real touchy about what you say about the product and yada yada yada. That's where, like, I'm probably not going to trash it, but like, I'd like to be able to say what I truly think and not have to run like, oh, this is the best tool ever, it's the bee's knees, and it's going to solve all your problems, and, you'll be done with every project in 20 minutes, like, that kind of stuff. I wouldn't go that far. But for a good company, I would totally do a sponsorship as long as I believed in it. It's like a lot of the YouTubers will tell you, like, they only take sponsors from products they believe in, or that they find useful, or that they've used before, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of the same idea. Now, on the other side of the note, if like, I wouldn't go as far as Brad, like he said some like fashion company was trying to get him to do something in his live stream on Sunday. He said that. So I would stay on his side of that one and go, yeah, no, that's not what my channel's about. But trying to think of like a good contrast. Okay, well, like, here's one. I reached out for a sponsorship from a beef jerky company. Now, I know that sounds weird, but yeah, like, first time out of the gate, I shot my shot. And I still really don't know how to do it that well. I tried, I guess, is the best thing that I can say. Never really heard back from them. Doesn't mean I won't in the future, but I haven't yet. And, it's a beef jerky company. And I've had their stuff. It's not like a big chain company or anything. It's a smaller company, but it's good stuff. Like, I mean, I'm not hating on it. So if they were to have said yes, I would still be fully on with that. Like, you guys would be watching beef jerky commercial during one of my videos because, yeah, I mean, at some point you kind of have to. I mean, I couldn't. There's some things I couldn't do, but I think it's only shilling if it's over the top, like you're not being satirical, like it's not your normal dynamic, like me and this. If I'm not like this and talking to you and, walking around the garage or doing whatever, like if it's not normal and you guys could tell, then yeah, that's suspect. But you can't be over the top. You can't make a bunch of like weird claims about the tool things, whatever. Like, I think a lot more people, or at least the regular subscribers, would be able to tell, if someone's actually being genuine in like a sponsorship. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not all about the money, but I mean, come on, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that wasn't the goal, right? Hey, David M. Need help with the temperature gauge on a 1992 S10 Blazer. That's a interesting one. Okay, so what's wrong with the gauge? We got a couple guys in here that wrench. I've been known to from time to time. What's wrong with the gauge? And by the way, that's an old POS. Unless it's in like really good shape, which is so rare, at least up here where I'm at. You hardly ever see a nice Blazer like that. Yeah, you try to be honest. And I noticed, hey, Renegade, yeah, we got to talk about you, buddy. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You, like, I was going through your videos the other day, and I'm sure you know that by all the likes and the comments. But you are getting a lot of stuff sent to you. I got the game all wrong or something. I don't get, like, I've had a couple things from Ulsa. The heart stuff, which I was the first one to find those, so that makes a little bit of sense. Plus, I hounded them. Work Pro sent me the shirt, like the promo pack thing. I won the Lyle thing, but that was an Instagram. Yeah, you, Renegade. But yeah, I don't get sent that much stuff. I don't even get that many offers. I've reached out to a couple, usually just like, maybe I'm going about it wrong. Maybe I need to do more emails. I usually like reach out to like Instagram or whatever. I probably need to get a hold of like the PR departments or the marketing departments directly. I will say I haven't done that as much. But yeah, the first thing I did a video on for Ulsa was those little ring extractors. and I bashed them. I bashed them hard, and they got a hold of me within 24 hours. I made that video. It had like maybe 50 views, and they got a hold of me. They didn't even care about the video. They were just like, "Hey, what's wrong with your thing?" Because I guess they were having problems with fucking glasses. They were having problems with the quality they were getting. Apparently, there was a discrepancy between the test parts that they received from the manufacturer and the final quality that they were getting for the shipped out items for the consumer products. There was some like difference in the middle. And I'm not saying they're not inherently flawed anyway. They are. And I trashed them in my video. But, yeah, they got right a hold of me and were like attempting to make it right. And what was it? Like they asked me if I'll get right to you, David. Let me finish this thought. They asked me if I wanted something for free or something. You know what I mean? Whatever. And I said no. Like, no, I'm good on like something free. I was like, if you want to give me like something to give away to, you know, on my channel to my subscribers or whatever, then like I'd be all down for that. Like I don't really need anything from you, like to make up for the bad tool or whatever. So they gave me, it was like the biggest socket rail set, that plastic set. It was the biggest one they had, which I think at the time was like a $60 value or something. Like the 2-piece, 6 pieces, metric and SAE. So like that was really cool. And I don't even remember who won. I don't remember who wins half my shit. I know a couple people. Mike Brown, he's not far from me. He's like in Ohio, just probably like less than an hour away. He won some stuff. I want to say I sent something to McKevitt, but I can't remember. Bruce up in the land of Canada. And yeah, just a few others. Like, I've actually given away a pretty decent amount of stuff so far. So let's see what David's saying about this 1992 S10 Blazer. Temperature gauge pegs out. Replace the temp gauge sending unit and put a new connector on it too. It's my beater with a heater. 4-wheel drive works great though. So I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm saying that because you're talking about like the sending unit and stuff, the vehicle is genuinely not overheating. Is that what you're telling me? Ooh, Autobahn Dan. Yeah, man, on a lot of the stuff, like, I won't even lie to you guys. If a company's giving away some stuff, right, I'll probably enter, you know, something like the Lyle thing. I entered that. I won one of, I'm sure, many of those that they gave away. But, oh, I can't sit on my leg. That's uncomfortable. But, like on the people stuff, like, I don't know. I'll enter if it's like, oh, comment on the video, you know, like Tools and Trash 1K giveaway. I entered that. I don't even remember what was in it, but you know, that's more just to support him, you know, because he's my dude. But like, I try not to enter too many like other creators giveaways and stuff because like I don't really need it. Like I'd much rather it go to somebody that, I don't know, like one of the actual like consumer subscribers. I kind of see like the YouTube circle jerk as not bad, but like a lot of us have channels and a lot of us watch each other. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like the genuine consumers, the guys that don't have channels, I see that like when you're doing a giveaway, like chances are mean, that's kind of who you're aiming it at, or at least I would think so. I mean, anybody that watches the channel or enters is fair game, right? But it's always like when Bruce won my first giveaway at like 50 subs. Uh, it was a crap gift. I think the shipping was almost more than the actual product itself. But I didn't even know he had a channel. His name is Bruce L, right, on YouTube. And he had his profile picture, and I don't know if he still does, but his profile picture was just a Miata, like his Miata or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's a sweet Miata. Like, yeah, sure. And on that one, I think I just like picked him or whatever, or maybe it was a random picker and that's who it landed on or whatever. But I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't even know he had a channel until he did a video about it, like about receiving the product, and he like tagged me in the title or something. So yeah, that was interesting. So back to David and the overheating. Don't know, because I just replaced the thermostat too. Before replacing it, everything wasn't overheating. Okay, so hold on. Vehicle was not overheating. Driving fine. You replaced the thermostat. I'm trying to figure out where the problem came in. You replaced the thermostat before the temp gauge started acting all funny, or you replaced the thermostat and then the temp gauge started acting funny? It's a question. And when you say the temperature gauge quit working, you mean it's pegged all the time now, or it's flat? Usually it's one or the other. Because that's interesting. I'm thinking, and I'm not insulting you here, that's part of troubleshooting. I'm thinking like, make sure that the thermostat got put in the right way. Usually they're obviously one way. And trying to think back on that one. That one probably doesn't have the little rubber seal that a lot of the newer ones do. So that's should just be like your regular gasket. Do you have any leaks? Like even a little leak, if it's letting air into there, it could cause it to compromise the coolant. I mean, that's possible. I wouldn't think it'd be doing what you're saying that it's doing, but that sounds weird. That it's overheating from theoretically nowhere. Also, how's your coolant? Like, what's the mixture? It's still pretty warm everywhere around here, but that doesn't mean if you put full in there, that's not good. It still shouldn't probably overheat, but it's not good. Trying to think. Obstruction, but like a flush, maybe? It depends. It's hard to know without like really knowing the vehicle, the history. I mean, it's kind of a guessing game. But I mean, you seem to be saying that it's not actually overheating. So 1992. That shouldn't be that complex. Yeah, I would check what Dano's saying. Check the ground wire, which, yeah, that's probably it. If it's just the gauge, because that should be a pretty simple electronic setup, and it's gonna either feed in, it shouldn't feed directly, it probably goes to the computer and then gets fed back out. Chances are. And that era is a little weird, because like it's some of them were still doing the old shit, and some of them were trying to innovate, getting ready for, CAN bus and things like that. There might have been a computer in that one. 92? I know my 91 Cutlass had fucking electronics in it like no tomorrow. So I'd call it like an ECM probably. Yeah, I would check your wiring. There should be, I'd say at minimum 2, at most maybe 3, one for like another signal to indicate the overheating status. So if the gauge is coming on, is the overheating trouble light coming on, like not the SES, but like the warning light, the red light telling you you're overheating, is that coming on? Oh yeah. I heard about you winning the Mechanics Time Saver box on Instagram. That's good stuff right there. Like, I gotta say, I've never really messed with them, but it's a little more high dollar stuff. Like, you see what I'm working with. I mean, tools on the workbench half the time's good enough for me, so I try to stay organized, but yeah, I'm not out here day in and day out wrenching on stuff, so I probably should be, but I'm not. Yeah, thermostat, but the gauge is, what did he say before? Did he say it was pegged? Let me see if I can roll this back a little bit to David's earlier comment. Oh, damn. Okay, temperature gauge. Pegs out. Temperature gauge pegs out. Replace the temp gauge sending unit. Put a new connector on it too. Yeah, check the ground. Whatever ground that feeds from, or, the closest one in that circuit. I would check there. I mean, it's an older car. Clean that up. Even if it doesn't look dirty, you'd be surprised how much, like what little it takes for ground to go bad. And also check like the terminal on it. Sometimes those start to get corroded. Now it temps. Pegged after changing. No, it's not overheating because it only ran for a little bit. The temperature was pegging. Okay. So it's not hot, but it's saying that it is. Did you get... No. I get it. Man. You said you put a new connector on it. Did you, like, wire it yourself? Like, did you pin it out or whatever? Could you have gotten this switched? Or messed up a wire? Because I'm thinking 2, like I said, more probably like 3. But that really should be... I don't know. That's a rough error. I don't know if that's electronically driven. It really shouldn't be. It should be analog. Should go off the direct... Oh, no. That's when they were getting kind of fucky. Alright, Dano. You head out. Let me see what I can find out. Let me Google. I know. I'm not a professional mechanic, so I just do what I do. So, 1992 Blazer, temp gauge pegging. Oh no, I'm gonna put pegging in here and get some bad results. Pegging out. See what we find. Temperature gauge reads low. Troubleshooting. Da, da, da. Coolant temperature sensor. Pick up thermostat. I see a lot. Okay, temp gauge. In pop. That's 92 pickup. Temp gauge won't work. You said grounding the wire. Okay, hold on. This guy's got something. Got something going on. Like, sounds similar. And it's 92 Chevy C1500. Okay. So he says, da 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 da. Okay. Sensors I replaced were from Advanced Auto Parts. They look and fit just like the one that pulled out. Single wire connector style. Anyone else have ideas? He cleaned the grounds. Da da da. Replaced the sensor again. Still nothing. Tested sensor output. Getting resistance to ground. But not sure what I should be reading based on the temps, right? Da 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 da. Have you had any other issues with the cluster? Clean the grounds on the intake that are for, yeah, check your grounds on your ECM as well. Doesn't sound like much, but you could be having a resistance issue because it sounds like it's electronically driven, like I was saying. So basically, it sends a signal that's converted into a resistance level, and then that gauge reads on the resistance. So if your resistance is screwed up, if it's too high, which that's usually when you're grounding out, is when it's higher than low. A good circuit is a lower resistance, depending. That's variable, but like a piece of wire is going to have less resistance than your two fingers if you're holding the leads. So it could be that. It could be a ground still, maybe to the ECM. Check those. I would just go through on the intake, everything close to that. Even the battery. I mean, I would think you would see other symptoms of a bad battery ground, but just to make sure, one of them could be bad. Like my S10, it's a 90. What is that? A 95? It's not an S10. Sorry, Sonoma, same thing. But my brake lights were giving me hell. Like hell. They were doing all kinds of weird shit. Lighting up, flashing, reverse lights. I mean, just everything. Like to the point where I was like, what the fuck? Like, they're getting all kinds of weird signals. Well, everything back there shares grounds. So it was not using the ground it should for the brake lights, and that's what was causing them not to work. But then when anything else got activated, it would send through, it would basically get like a shit ground connection from further down the line from something else, and like kind of half, sometimes sort of not work, but sort of work. The lights would come on, dim, or they'd flash, like turn signals or whatever have you. The reverse lights were coming on when they shouldn't. Just all kinds of weird stuff was going on with the brake lights. And it literally just turned out to be a bad ground. So it really does have a lot of problems. Teflon tape. It sounds like a bad ground being pegged to the right, this guy says. Check continuity. Yeah, check continuity. So where your sensor is, disconnect everything, and then just with a meter, check your continuity. Where you touch the leads and it beeps, not resistance. You don't want to check resistance, especially with power on anything. But run back from the sensor just on each individual wire. Continuity, if you don't know, which I'm sure you do, is just checking whether or not from here to here you have connection. And then just go back and see, where, if you lose connection. if you're like me and you have long enough alligator clips and wires and stuff, you might even be able to span most of the gap the first time just to kind of see if everything's good. Pin cluster on the harness, maybe. You said grounding the wire pegs the gauge. That sounds like it's got to be the sensor. Yeah, this guy says if he grounds the sensor, you said the grounding wire pegs the gauge. So, I mean, yeah, so what this guy is saying, if he disconnects the ground and then just grounds it, I'm assuming while the vehicle's on, that's when the gauge pegs. Something else. Okay. Should be able to see the sensor. It looks like it should be 55 ohms hot. Checked significant ones at the block and the grounding bolts on the intake. Did not try the firewall. The sensor test out okay. Long wire to physically ground the sensor to something. Yeah, you can also try that. I wouldn't necessarily say bridge in, but the ground wire on the sensor, you could go ground that directly to whatever good ground you can find. The battery, I mean, literally whatever, a good ground, and try that. See if you ground out that wire, if it helps. And if it helps and it starts acting normal again, then you would know that your ground, the factory one, or the one that it's currently using, is suspect, and then you either can fix that or just run your new ground and you should be good. Okay. Now I'm reading again here. I know this is like the most awesome live stream ever. Did some more testing. Sensor seems to be responding okay. Grounds on the intake block are okay. 800 while the engine is warming up. Tested grounds at the firewall. Sensor still responded properly. Tested gauge ground for continuity. Tested okay. I probed the green wire, I'm assuming that's the power, and tested it to ground while the gauge cluster is pegged and got a completely different reading than when the cluster is out. So when out, it responds just as I'm testing the sensor's resistance to ground directly on the sensor. Not sure if that's how it's supposed to work. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can go down. Okay. Okay. It seems like maybe he got it. Let's see. Engine runs cool without a thermostat. Can be lucky to eat. Oh, to ever get the needle to move over 165. Ta-da. I would see if you can get an info. Oh, that dude's telling him to check temps and stuff like that. 99 runs down. Da 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 da. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, now he's thinking it's the connector to the switch, or to the sensor. I hate these forums like this, man. Like, they should really pin the answer like somewhere close to the top if they ever find it. Usually they don't. Or if they do, they never post it, like a bunch of dicks. Yeah, if you got an extra sensor, you could plug in that sensor outside the engine, of course, like to the connector. You'd have to have power, ground it, and then like get a lighter or, some kind of flame, some kind of heat gun, whatever, and test that. Like, see. I mean, I doubt that it would do anything different. Okay. He says he thinks he got it figured out. So let's see what he okay, started the okay, hold on. Bench tested the old sensor, found out that it works. Put it in my bench vise, grounded it to the battery, and wired it to the pigtail key on torch sensor. Yeah, just like what I'm talking about. Temp gauge worked. Crazy, but the resistance readings were lower than I thought they'd have to be to register on the gauge. 700 to 800 ohms is not enough to register. Just to confirm my diagnosis, I started the truck, let it warm up, picked up an infrared thermometer. Okay, temps are only getting to about 130 at the head where the sensor is. But some of that probably is radiant heat from the exhaust. At the coolant flange registered 105, barely enough to register the gauge. Coolant seems to be well cold. Weird thing is the truck still seems to be entering the closed loop though. I know the EGR is working. That was his last repair. Next, to diagnose the overcooling issue, I can finally take off my electrical thing. Okay, so he's saying, yeah, I would check your thermostat, man. I'm not dogging on you. I'm gonna go back to the actual stream now so I can see what people are saying, because this has been he's saying that his truck literally wasn't getting warm enough and that it wasn't getting enough read to read the sensor, so that's why it was pegging out. It kind of makes sense. It still sounds like he had something weird going on there, but I would double check. And I'm not dogging on you. just anything's possible. I would check the thermostat again, and check. I don't know if you have an infrared heat gun. Check the temps right there where that sensor is. It sounds like he's saying you need about 130 to really get that thing kicking up the way that it's supposed to. So it sounds like, maybe not right at first, but anything that varies that just below, it's not reading anything at all. So it might just default to being pegged. It still sounds weird. I don't know enough about the system to know how it works. It sounds like he's got a pretty good idea. I just Googled that, and this is ChevyTalk.org. I just literally did like 1992 Blazer thermostat or temp gauge pegged or something, and then read this post that he made. Yeah, that's funny. Someone's telling him to connect an OBD2 to it. Yeah, 1992 doesn't have one. It might have like the OBD1 or like a CAN bus, maybe, but even that I think is probably a stretch. So yeah, that's a tough one, man. Basically, at this point, I would go back and backtrack, and also maybe do what he did: pull your old sensor. Well, you said it quit working, so that's a little hard. But even maybe the housing right there, right? That part of the engine, get like a heat gun, something that's not going to produce open flames, but still give you the warmth, and warm up that area there by the sensor and see if your temp gauge starts working correctly. And if it does, then you might have a problem with your cooling system still. The thermostat could, I mean, dude, I've gotten bad thermostats from the store. Like, I mean, we've all got bad parts. And I'm not talking about the ones that don't fit. I'm talking about the ones that don't work out of the box. So, you can't count that out either. But just run through and check, man. It's got to be... It doesn't sound like it's anything detrimental to the car or the engine. It doesn't sound like it. Yeah, I would just keep trying. Check some of that stuff that we talked about. If you can get the sensor out, which it doesn't sound like you can, but if you buy another one just to test it, you try that. Try warming up that area of the engine a little more than it than it is getting, and see if that does anything. Check your grounds. It's got to be something dumb, man. Doesn't sound like some catastrophic failure. I've seen cars, I've had older cars do that, but I wasn't like really wrenching or fixing stuff back then. And so, like, so and so or whoever, or even maybe one of my cars at some point, it was just like, okay, the temp gauge doesn't work, but instead of being a 0, it'd be pegged. So that's a similar kind of situation, it sounds like. But the car drove fine. So that sounds a lot like what you're saying. Oh, guys. Seriously though, Renegade. And Kingsport. Hey Kingsport, what's going on, buddy? I still gotta check out your video, Kingsport. You did a video. I'm sure it's a little older. I'm pretty sure it is. But it's what was it? It's like called like something like the one tool that everybody uses that you don't, or maybe it's the inverse of that, the one tool that nobody else uses than you like to use, something like that. I've seen the damn thumbnail twice, but like I never have the time to watch it. So that's next on my list once I get a minute. Check that forum out, double check everything again. I do have another sensor, yeah, so that would be interesting to try that. Hook that up and see how it acts. And if it's still acting funny, before you unhook it and go back to whatever, try grounding the sensor to a separate ground, and then try it again and see if that does anything. I really think it sounds like that guy did too. I really think somewhere around that you will hopefully start to see the temp gauge beginning to act normal, which will then allow you to hone in on whether or not it's the sensor or it's the wiring to the sensor. But it sounds like it's one of those. It definitely sounds like it's one of those. Either that, or I don't want to say the car's not getting to temp, but maybe there's something wrong with the thermostat. That would be my next guess. So I think that's probably a good direction for you to run into. I will take the older stuff over the newer stuff, man. The newer stuff, if you don't have one of the $3,000 scanners or anything. Oh, still in my work clothes, guys. I feel bad. Came home, made dinner, sat down with the family, ate something, put my daughter to bed, and then came out here. The old sensor I had threw away already, of course. Yeah, well, of course, we all do that, right? I mean, I try not to pack red. I really do. If I really think something's bad, well, sometimes there'll be a pile of trash in the corner of the garage, but that's mostly like bigger metal parts and stuff I might scrap after I build up enough of it. The last time I ran to the damn scrapyard, right? I saved up all my stuff. I had panels I had cut off of the Acadia and all the Rex stuff. I had the aluminum rim. I had all kinds of stuff. And I go to the damn scrapyard thing, the one close to me, and it was like a 300-pound minimum, to even get a payout, which I'm still sure was probably like $5. But whatever, or maybe not even that. But I was like something stupid, like 30 pounds. I had like 270 or something. I was literally like just a few 20 pounds or something from being able to be paid out 20, 30 pounds. I was like, oh, that's bullshit. So basically I gave him a bunch, well, not a bunch, but I gave him metal for free. Yeah. Right? It's crazy. Like scrap metal, it used to be, I get like the scrap metal thing, but nowadays with recycling, the major city that I grew up in, Dayton, I just saw a thing. Well, I don't watch the news, but I saw an article about a thing where they're about to like start punishing people for not recycling properly because I guess, yeah, David, there's usually a lot of us around. Most of these guys in this list have channels. Uh, Generally, we're not all assholes. We are pretty helpful people. And yeah, like none of us are above reproach, man. Like I can be wrong. Renegade can be wrong. Anybody can be wrong. Anybody can overlook something. Sometimes it takes a fresh pair of eyes. So, uh, sub up to some of these channels. Everybody's got good content and different perspectives. Kingsport is an electrician. Um, I don't know what the hell Renegade does. I know he's got a bunch of stuff in his garage. I don't remember if I ever caught what he does for a living, though. Bill, he's a good guy. He has good tips and tricks. But to my knowledge, he doesn't have a channel. So, just one of our... What the fuck is my computer flipping out? Okay, that was weird. My computer thought I needed a notification. But yeah, don't mind helping. I get bunches of messages over my key and key fob video. You would think, right? Like, okay, I make a video on keys and key fobs for most GM vehicles, is how it's titled. And like I mentioned in the video. And I say most because it does go across a bunch of different models in that time frame that I was speaking of. But then I get people like emailing me and messaging me or commenting on the video. Well, what about my Toyota? What about a 1997 Honda? That's not what... You're retired. You son of a renegade. Retired? Like legitimately not working retired, or like not doing what I usually did and I'm doing something else now? Because I know lots of guys that are retired that still work full time. I'm hoping not to be one of those. Go YouTube. Right? But, what the fuck was I saying? I forget. Sometimes I lose everything when I try to be funny. My humor's not for everyone. Especially my wife. She reminds me all the time how stuff I say is not funny. Or my jokes are not funny. Or my sense of humor is not funny. I get that a lot. Joshua Brandenburg, what's going on, man? You said on Instagram, what, you find out if you graduate tomorrow? Is that what I read? Did I read that correctly? If so, I will cross my fingers for you. Oh, the key fob video. Yeah, and then like I have my salvage inspection video. I have helped. It's got to be approaching 1,000. it's got to be. I mean, and some of these people, I messaged them back and forth for days. The one thing that kind of pisses me off is like, I'll help these people. Like a lot of the people email me. Some people try to do it in the comments on the video, but the really good ones email me. And so like I'll answer their questions or whatever. And like some of them are a little more needy. Need that positive reinforcement or whatever. But whatever, so I'll still respond to them. I'll do the thing. And then they'll be like, okay, all right, man, like, thanks, like, I appreciate it, yada, yada, yada. And then they never, like, well, no, I don't want to say never. Only a handful of people have come back after they get the car inspected and gone, hey man, like, yeah, everything went great. Like, no, really, like, thanks for your tips. Like, you made this a lot easier. I got through on the first try, whatever have you. And most of them, it's the same email, which, I mean, I understand it happens all the damn time, but I get the same email probably once a week, if not more, from somebody who bought a salvaged vehicle from somebody that most of the time, probably more than half of the time, the original person has already fixed and sold it to somebody else, and then when they go to get it tagged, they find out they can't because it's salvage and it needs inspecting. I get that email like once a week. It's nuts, and I have the script, almost down, but I mean, at that point, you can go back, you can try to get whatever you can from the asshole that sold it to you, but chances are you're not going to get anything because he fixed the car, did whatever he did, and did not want to go through the inspection process for whatever reason, so he chose to just sell it. Not saying that it's a salvage title. Now, I've told people if it was legitimately not disclosed and things like that, like there's possibilities of legal action, but if most of these people really want the car that they just bought and they need the car that they just bought, so I help them through the salvage inspection process. If they're in Montana or Nevada or wherever they're at, I'll look up the information for their state, going as far as like telling them how to schedule, checking the local laws to see how different they are than from, here in Ohio. And like, I really like, I don't want to say like go the extra mile, but like I really try to help them. Weirdest one I got was actually a phone call. Well, the chick gave me her number when she emailed, lady, woman, whatever. She put her phone number at the bottom of the email. I don't know if that's like a default signature. If so, kind of bad on her, whatever. But it was like in Indiana or somewhere close to me, and I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm tired of typing this shit out. I got her number. I'm gonna call her. So I called her, had a quick conversation, told her what she needed to know. Hers was a camper, like a pull behind, like I don't know, not a pop up per se, but something like that. And it was salvaged, and she needed to get it inspected and follows the same rules for the most part. So I told her, got her all set. She never got back to me and told me how the inspection went. That almost never happens. But I'm assuming that's a good thing because I've never once gotten an email back from somebody that was pissed off because I led them astray. So, or no lawsuits. I mean, really, I'm just being helpful with information, but you never know. So, okay, so what's Josh say? Well, I might have another year or I might graduate. By the way, holy cow, I'm really glad that I'm here. Well, we're glad you're here, Josh. Definitely glad you're hanging out with us. And I mean, fingers crossed, man. Another year, might not be so bad. You never know. You gotta see. That's a lot of experiences, man. I know a lot of us old timers, like, man, you're gonna miss it when you're not there. And I'm not saying it like that. It's not always the best thing. And yeah, there's bad times just like anything else. But when you really start getting old, Josh, you do kind of look back, and even if they weren't like maybe the best of times, like you kind of miss that age where like things were a little simpler. I know I do from time to time. I wish I could be a cat and just lay around and eat and sleep and give no fucks all day. Yeah, I think the life of a cat, that's probably where it's at. If you buy a car with a so-called clean title, you will get caught at the time of applying for the new. Yeah, oh no, I know it happens, Bill. I have the #1 video on YouTube for salvage inspection. I get all the emails. That's what I was just talking about. Yeah, I get all the emails. Oh, I bought this car and it's already fixed, but I don't have any receipts. You better go find some receipts then. Like, you're gonna have to do something because, like, I knew this one dude. He was all, like, hung up over, like, a fender. Right? Like, his whole thing, like, he's like, oh, like, everything's fine. They just replaced the fender. But the guy, whoever, that actually did it, wouldn't give him anything. And I said, man, look, you know, it's not completely dishonest. I mean, I'm assuming that whatever was on the car was not a stolen part, and I told him that. I said, if you really just need a receipt for the fender, right, buy a fender from, like, Rock Auto, a junkyard, wherever, use the receipt, and then return the fender after you're done with the inspection. Like, I mean, as long as it's within the, you know, the time frame, whatever. I said, if it's really, because this guy, he was just saying, like, it was just a fender that was replaced, everything else was fine, but he didn't have any receipts. I'm like, well, then go get a receipt for a fender, dude. It's like $30, $50, maybe $100, depending on the car. I mean, maybe a little more now. I don't know if it was like a newer car. I forget what it was. But go get the fuck, if that's the only thing holding you back, then go get a receipt. And, like, I don't know what to tell you. But he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to spend the money or whatever. The only when I want to is, what the fuck are you saying, Bill? At Renegade's Garage. The only when I want to is what my millennial help tells me all the. Oh, okay, now I get it. Only when I want to. Yeah, fuck a bunch of that. People don't work hard anymore. Like, not. It's the exception anymore. It's not the rule. And even I'm kind of guilty. I mean, my job's more more admin. I mean, it's still a balance, but I do a lot more of this than I do of wrenching, right? I still fix stuff, but it's not near the level that I'm accustomed to. But, like, it's kind of gotten me a little, not lazy, but I sit on my ass at the computer more than I ever have before, right? Oh, guys. So, Bill, what do you think of the camera quality of the stream? Have you noticed the difference? Because I'm clear, you can see my freshly shaven face at 5 this morning or whenever. It's already stubbly, but I'm really excited, and I don't know what I'm gonna do for my first video with this thing. I gotta think about it, because I gotta attempt to up my game a bit. I can't shoot these on the fly videos. I mean, I can still, but they don't seem to do as well. I need to kind of plan one out, since the quality looks like it's gonna be a lot better than what I'm used to. So I'm gonna have to think about that. The fucking bulletproof wrenches, like, because of COVID and the ammo shortage and all kinds of other just logistical problems, I cannot get a place to go shoot rounds at that thing easily. Like, I got buddies, I got friends, I got people who can't, like, you know, make it happen. It's a pain in the ass. And I haven't been able to make that happen. And this wouldn't be doing the main amount of filming for it anyway, or at least not the money shot, because it can do time lapse, but I don't think it's gonna do slow mo as well, because it's only like 60 frames per second. I'd need like 120, so I could drop it down to like half or a quarter speed. Thanks, Bill. Thanks a lot. Yeah, face for radio, and what's the other one? Face for radio and a voice for... Oh, I forget. It's like face for radio and a voice... Oh, a voice for like writing or novels or something like that. Like, yeah. I never have liked my own voice. I kept too much. I was squeaky, right? Around puberty and all that. Never got the deepness to my voice. I mean, a little bit, but I still, if someone just stumbles upon this channel and they don't see the white hairs in my goatee at first, they think like I'm 25. Like, it's bullshit. Or, you know, thereabouts. You know, younger than, I guess, if I had hair. Maybe. But, yeah, like, I don't like my voice. Never really have. And I try to clean it up on the videos as best I can. When I don't clean it up, it sounds like hell. But after cleaning it up, it kind of sounds presentable. I got a buddy who runs a recording studio. At one date, I might actually go over there and see like what he can do with it, and then, you know, try to emulate that on a regular basis, because I'm sure he can pull tricks out of his sleeves that I have no idea about. You mean like participation trophies, Bill? Yeah. Everybody, thanks, Renegade. Thanks. Yeah, it took a while, man. I squeaked through for probably about a year and a half. Just, my voice just would not convert over. And then when it did, this is the end result. Yeah, like a little bit of bass, but still a lot of squeaky, a lot of high pitch. Don't like it. I'm not one of these guys. I hate those guys. There's a guy. He's a gamer, I guess you could say. Now, I know, Renegade. I'm cool. I poke fun at myself as much as everybody else does, or at least try to. There's this guy. He's a gamer, like a game streamer or what. Well, I don't know what else he does, but he does this too. And his name is Corpse, but I think like his official social media name is like Corpse Husband or something. He reads things, or at least he has. I don't know if it's like his stuff that he's reading or what, but he has this really deep and like foreboding voice. Like, I mean, not like Morgan Freeman. I mean like a death metal singer or something in real life, when they're just like sitting around bullshitting and talking. Like, it's really deep and kind of growly and like that. And his voice is like fucking mesmerizing. Like, you'd have to check it out or look it up. It's really interesting. And nobody, like, his identity is like he's kept it a secret. Like, nobody knows who he really, or at least if anybody does, they don't say anything. Nobody knows who he really is. He's never revealed his face. I'm guessing for a reason. He might actually be like, you know, the lead singer of some band, but he doesn't sound, it's not popular enough, whatever it is, that anyone's identified him up to this point. But it's interesting because it's those voices. I know one of my buddies does like a video and photography and all that, and he had this roommate. He has since like moved to Utah. I think that's it, Utah, somewhere out there. And And he's like a big dude, like a hefty dude, you know what I mean? But he had one of these voices, like that deep ass, like it didn't match his face, like none of that. And he was a white guy, but he had this deep, like Morgan Freeman like bass in his voice. And like everybody would always say that. And I was like, dude, you should do like voiceover stuff, or like whatever you can do. What do they call that? Voice acting, I guess, or just whatever. Like, should put that shit to work, because that's like people that can just draw, pick up a pen and just draw, like not really much in the way of formal training or anything like that. Just fucking talented people. I hate them. Hate all of them. I don't care if it's pottery or painting, or because I don't have it. I don't have artistic. I got logic. And that's where I'm good. Wires and mechanics and fixing stuff and figuring out problems. I'm that guy. Like, I can't draw for anything. I sure as hell can't sing. I tried to play some instruments, and I figured out, like, I plateau pretty early. My hand-eye coordination is, like, mediocre at best. Video games are the same way. Like, I'm a decent player, but according to, like, today's standards, I can barely play online, at all, because everybody's reflexes are just so fucking fast anymore that I can't keep up. But yeah, we all deal with the hand that we are dealt. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just some of us have to try a little bit harder. If you would have told me 5 years ago, or even 10 years ago, that I'd be doing YouTube, and that even now, like, I'd be getting small amounts of money from it, and that people would be watching me, I wouldn't have believed you. Like, I mean, I decided one day to do it because I was working on cars and rebuilding the wrecked ones, not engines, but the wrecked, like the body damage and stuff, buying the salvage cars and stuff. That's, if you look way back, that's where my channel started, mostly. And so, like, I just, like, decided one day, like, okay, like, these other guys are doing it, I can do it too. Like, I'll start uploading stuff to YouTube. Like, screw it. What a fucking learning curve, though. Jeez, like, you just start uploading videos, and then you start really, when you really look at it, it's like looking at, like I was saying, like a drawing with, like, all the little lines. Like, you start to realize how many thousands of little lines somebody had to draw to make a portrait or something. Like, you're like, oh, wow, this takes, like, a lot of work. There's a lot of, like, fine details in it. And YouTube and making videos and all this other stuff is the same. Like, shit, hell, even making the videos. I mean, it's not secondary, but it almost is, because of the thumbnails and the damn how to tag your videos and title them, and finding places when you're small to share it, to try to get it in front of people. It's just so, there's so much to learn. How to edit in, like, the video editing softwares, how to, like, start to add, like, text or effects or transit, all that stuff. It's nuts. Like, you have to learn so much. But now, like, I can do a decent job at all of it. I'm never going to be the best at anything, but, I'll give it my half-assed try, and usually that's decent enough. It is, right, Renegade? It is. It's really, and when you're small, like, I don't know, you definitely appreciate it more. I'm still hungry, like, I still want to be bigger, but then, even then, now, like, let's just say something fucking happened, and, like, tomorrow I had 10,000 subscribers. I wouldn't know what to do with it. Like, I'm sure I'd be fine and I'd figure it out, but I legitimately wouldn't know. Like, it's almost better to kind of grow slow. You know, that way your expectations and your quality, and you have that time to kind of get better. Like those overnight successes, man. If you got to do different stuff. You can't do the same thing. Don't back yourself into a corner. That's why I still kind of put out, like, you know, different kind of videos. Saving money on Amazon was the recent one, and that's a little out of the niche, but it still applies to tools and things, so I still count it. But like, I haven't rebuilt a car on my channel in some time, you know, because that's just expensive, and I've had other stuff going on. I can't financially. I don't have the time at the moment. It's not that I won't, but I just haven't had the ability. The last one that I did was the Y Cicadia, and I didn't even film a whole bunch of that because it sat for a while, and then I started trying to get to it, and then she wanted her fucking car done, so I kind of rushed through it. I still have to repaint it because the 2K clear started chipping. I fucked up the base coat, and then it was alright, and it just looked a little funny for a while, but then somewhere in there, maybe I must not have got the 2K clear thick enough either, but the 2K clear started chipping off. So that's what that is. So I still have to repaint that. And then I painted the truck and did the rust repair and all of that. That was a fun one. It was kind of thrown together, but it kept the truck in one piece. It looks a lot better now. It's still a POS. But, yeah, I don't know what the future of the truck is. It's probably... I don't know. I keep thinking I'm going to sell it. But, I mean, what am I going to sell it for? A couple $100 maybe? But it's nice to have a truck when you need one that runs. And that damn thing starts every time. It has never let me down. Not once. It runs rough. It runs like shit. Sometimes it smells like gas a little bit. But it fucking runs. I'd drive that thing anywhere. So, it's hard to get rid of. Even though it's an old piece of crap and I can only have, like, really one passenger in it. My wife refuses to ride in it. She damn sure won't drive it. Bill. Every time the camera appeared, you'd run the other way. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. I was real weird about it at first. At first, I thought I was going to be like like a Chris Fix, or like one of these people that just stood behind the camera the whole time. My first video, I was behind the camera. I didn't, like, get on camera. And the second video, I think the shaving cream carpet video, I was behind that one. Man, I'm gonna have to look. One of them. I forget, and it was kind of early. One of them, for some stupid fucking reason, I got in front of the camera. Probably because I figured if people didn't see my face, they would think I was young. You know what I mean? So, if you're going to be talking about stuff and giving people advice, or, you know, any of that, like, you kind of want to show them that you're not some, like, young kid. Not to say that they don't know what they're talking about, but you know, a lot of guys wouldn't listen to, like, a 25-year-old unless they were literally trying to learn something that the 25-year-old was teaching them. You know, you're not going to ask him for advice on how to time your old V8 engine, you know, which, again, not saying that some of them don't know, but you wouldn't bank on it, right? So, I don't know. It is what it is. It's a journey, and who knows what? We are March something. Like, I think towards the end of March will be 3 years on YouTube. And I'm currently at, I think I hit, oh my god, is it raining? What the fuck, dude? You're soaked. What the hell, dog? My dog is like dripping wet. Doesn't sound like it's raining like that. What did you do, dude? Did you go roll around in it? Ew. Jeez, look at that. Oh, sweet. The autofocus on this thing is awesome. Pull it back just a little bit. Hide the face. There you go. Yeah. Jesus, dog. You gotta be freezing. Hang out for a minute. Why is that, Renegade? Make you feel like you have lost your mind talking to yourself. Well, a little bit. I still find it weird, man. Like, it's hard. And, like, I keep telling my wife I'd like, help filming videos, but she is just not down. And it's hard to get people, on par. Like, I'm out here in the country a little bit. Like, it's not far for someone to get to me, but, like, 20, 25 minutes maybe, depending on where they're at. And that's the close ones. So it's hard to be like, oh, like I envy a lot of those channels that have like a small group of people to kind of like tackle things, because like this dude might be the editor and this dude are doing the filming, and they all talk and come up with ideas. Like, it's just me. Me and like Brad, when I bounce off ideas off of him, and whoever else, and all that stuff. Like, it's rough when you're on your own, man. Like, you really don't have even a soundboard to throw ideas against. Yeah, well, my dog's going straight to the cage when we get inside because he is soaked. Like, I don't understand it. The door's open. It's been open this whole time, and it doesn't look like it's raining. He must have, like, literally, you are gonna Rust Belt Mechanic in the house, everybody. Thanks for stopping by, Kyle. You are gonna have a film crew, aren't you? It's your new endeavor at SP Tools. Is it SP Air? No, that's separate. It's just SP Tools, right? You should have like a film crew. I saw some of your stuff already where you were, down in their garage? What was that, Alabama or something, down there doing some filming. I saw some of that. You look good. The outfit looks good on you. You look like you're comfortable. I'm glad to see it. Congratulations, since I haven't talked to you since the announcement. Yeah, Eric the Car Guy's got a cameraman, and Eric the Car Guy is not far from me. Or Rust Belt. Yeah, it's way nicer, I bet. And like doing takes and everything is a lot easier when you got a cameraman, because they can just go, oh, okay, stop recording, delete that clip real quick, and then if even delete the clip, who knows, and then just go right back into the next take. Like, yeah, those guys have the filming and editing guys that do all that work. Oh my god, that must be so nice. Legitimately so nice. Real quick, Rust Belt, I know this adds to the list of people that could probably care less, but if you're looking at the high quality webcam I got, it's because I actually my wife bought me a real camera. I have a Canon EOS 80D, EOS, I think they call it EOS. It's still a few years out, like off, market or whatever, but it's a pretty good camera. I'm excited about the video quality going in, because like the phone does all right, but even just looking at this compared to the stuff that I've been getting, it seems a lot better. So I'm interested to see what actual quality video is going to bring to the table. But now I got to up the content game a little bit. But man, I did a whole talk with the captain. Stopped in one day, not long ago, and I told him obviously to pass along the message. But I'm really proud of you, man, because you took something from a weird, what was it, like you're what, like 40 or some odd thousand. I looked it up at the time. It's a lower sub count than I thought you were at, and that's not an insult, that's just saying. But you took something like that, and obviously I'm sure the YouTube channel had to play into your job offer to some degree. So that, I was saying, is like a gateway, kind of plotting the course or showing the possibilities to some of the other YouTubers. And that's not to say that this is going to be a common occurrence or, an opportunity for everyone, but you've set the precedence now that you can actually not only turn YouTube into a real thing, but now you've, through that and other accolades, have turned it into a different kind of profession, one where you don't have to wrench all day, and you can kind of be a little more relaxed, hopefully, and more helpful to people. You're what, in charge of their, it's not apprenticeship, it's their student, I'm gonna say outreach. I know I'm gonna get it wrong, but you're in charge of like that section, right? Like you're like the, not spokesperson, I'm gonna get all the wording wrong, like I'm sure you can say it better than I can. Yeah, I'd still be a BFE. Wait, are you moving? Are you not gonna be up here by me anymore? Are you actually moving to like Alabama or wherever their little place is set up? I never did get that answer. Well, I don't think I asked Captain, but there you go. So, but wait, real quick though, make sure while I still got you on here, such an important person. Are you actually moving away? Because whew, that's gonna be a, if is it Alabama? Is that where they're headquartered? Okay. So it's yeah, okay. It's like, one of those contingent things. But man, I mean, that just goes to show you. I mean, that's crazy. Real world opportunities coming from, hard work and dedication. I don't think if I had stopped you even 6 months ago and said, hey man, one of these tool companies is going to offer you a job, being director of their Next Tech program, like, you'd have probably laughed at me. I mean, it's great. I really do think it's great. I was telling the captain to make sure he sent it along. If he hadn't, I'm glad you stopped by so I can tell you in person. I think on behalf of most of us creators out there, I mean, we're all really proud of you, and we're happy for you to see what this this next chapter brings you. Hopefully a lot less stress and a lot more stability and fun in what you're doing. Whew. Well, yeah, and I mean, you just never know. I mean, and I was saying this to the captain when he was here. I can't think, and I was asking for someone to prove me wrong if they had an example. I can't think of anyone else that's made a transition like this. Like, you really are, to my knowledge, the first person to get a job offer from a tool company. Yeah, because of your background and your mechanic experience, of course, but the YouTube aspect of it, that those traits and those qualities, that professionalism in that aspect, obviously played a role too. So You really are. You're pioneering what hopefully will be like a newer thing. You know, whether that's, you know, a tool company hiring a YouTuber to be a spokesperson for like a trade show. You know, I wouldn't hate on anyone for that. I mean, as long as it was understood, like I'm doing this for them, and you're just basically the mouthpiece for what they want to say, and you're not doing it on your channel, then I'd be totally down for that. I'd let anybody, more power to them. But it's really something different, and it's really cool that it's you and that it's, you know, somebody around here. And I will say, the Midwest accent, and a lot of people, there's a lot of us Midwest tool tubers anyway, but a lot of people across the entire United States, the Midwest accent is one that is understood well by everyone from New York to California, the South, everywhere. You can have a Midwest accent and go anywhere. When Hollywood actors and British people and people from other countries study how to speak American for movies, like Hugh Jackman, right? Like his is really good. And oh God, what's that chick? Kate Beckinsale. Hers is really good too. She's British. I want to say British or Australian or something. Anyhow, they all study a Midwest accent. So it's really interesting that they chose somebody from the Midwest. I mean, not too, you know, surprising, but it's because we're good spokespeople, because everyone can understand us. California people tend to talk a little slow. New Yorkers talk a little fast. There's all the weird accents in between, like Boston, and, you know, which don't always come across as well in different areas. But, you know, this area, the Rust Belt, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, probably even Pennsylvania, Chicago, Illinois is, like, I'm sure most of the state. It's the most sought after accent, especially for, you know, public speaking and filming, advertisements and such. Uh-oh. One of them may be picking up another YouTuber from two different tool companies that I had to tell them, sorry, too slow. Oh my gosh, dude. That's like, can I ask unsolicited? Like unsolicited. Like they just come at you with job offers? That's crazy. And you've heard one of them may be picking up another YouTuber. That's going to be interesting. I will have to keep my eyes peeled for that. And that just even goes back into it. Setting the precedent. You're the first of your kind, or sounds like one of the few, possibly. The pioneers for sure. And it seems like, yes, like you can, it's feasible now to, maybe I'll do a video on it. It's feasible now to turn your YouTube marketing skills and your video skills and your, I guess your personality, your on-camera persona, whatever you want to call that, into real-world opportunity. It's not necessarily just going to be YouTube. I mean, that's a big step. And I can now convince my wife that this is not a waste of time. So thank you for that. I can tell her, like, yeah, you never know who's watching. Maybe I'll get picked up by somebody. There's a lot of tool companies here in Ohio. Uh, uh, who makes toolboxes down in Georgetown? Damn it! Is that? I think that's Proto. Proto's got a factory down there making toolboxes. Right Tools here. Um, Williams, I want to say, has a factory here somewhere. There's a bunch of them here in Ohio. So, you never know. I'm going to have to get better, though, because right now I just got to throw a lot of stuff together. And, I mean, it's decent, but I'm definitely not oozing charisma from every pore. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm already getting money. I mean, that's the first step. And then as soon as I get money, I spend $500 on quarter-inch ratchet sets, socket sets. And then promptly after that, before I've even cashed those back out and tried to make some of my money back, my wife buys me a. This camera is normally like, I think right now with the kit and everything that came with it, I think I could have got it for like $1,200 maybe, with the lens and everything that's on it. I got it for like, well, my wife bought it for me for like six something, like under 700. So I mean, I did get a really good deal, and the craziest thing is that it can be used as a webcam, like right now, which is a newer feature that happened because of the COVID. But I'm glad that, I mean, look at this webcam. I couldn't ask for anything better. And if I had better lighting, it would look even better. But the batteries are dying on this thing, so in like 5 more minutes, you won't even be able to see this little accent light. But like, yeah. See, if I have the light right, my face is lit up. I turned half the lights off in the background. It's a pretty decent shot. It makes my garage not look as horrible. Oh, really? In Canton, really? That's interesting. Well, yeah. Yeah, you had that Snap-on box to pay off. Oh, my dog is looking cold, guys, and it's 9:30. I really should be getting off here. Rust Belt, it was nice for you to stop by. That's a pleasant surprise, and I greatly appreciate it. Again, man, congratulations. I can't say enough. I'll keep in touch. I hope that you will too. I'll be watching out for, what you have going on in the future. I'll have to get over to the SP channel and actually subscribe. I don't think that I am as of the moment. But I'll get over there. I'll check that out. And then I'll keep in touch. And I'll keep my eyes peeled for this second mystery YouTuber that might be picking up a job. That's also very interesting. Again, it's nothing but good news for everybody. I don't understand how anyone could, well, maybe the consumers. Everyone's going to whine about something, but it's nothing but good news for all of us. I mean, it just elevates us and kind of throws us into that realm of feasibility, right? In the professional sense, like it's no longer just like a hobby on YouTube. Like people are taking us seriously and looking at us in real ways. So, oh, Dano, we're just about to end it out. Rust Belt stopped by. We were talking to him a little bit about his new employment that he is working on. So, if you haven't been up to speed on that, go check that out. But I am going to end it here today, guys. No, I haven't figured it. Well, I mean, I know I'm selling some of them. But if you really want one, I got to send one out for the giveaway for the online tool community whenever Jared Milky Way tells me to. But I could probably come off of another one. So message me on Instagram, Renegade, and I will try to get to you. I have a bunch of stuff I got to get mailed out, hopefully by the end of the week. So yeah, get a hold of me. I'll see what I can come up with. It probably won't be the Capri set, though. You might be lucky to get the Tecton. Maybe. We'll see. But I'm going to end it here tonight, guys. I appreciate you for stopping by. Rust Belt, good luck in your endeavors. I'll stay tuned, as I hope everybody else will. Dano, Renegade, Kingsport, Bill Beckett, everybody, Josh Brandenburg, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you hopefully soon.